St. Charles, Minnesota. Looks like fuel prices are still going up. $3.94 and $3.99 for credit for diesel. This truck probably looks different than my last one. I'm in a different company now. This is a family-owned business, 30 trucks. I just went through a lot of rain. This is a 2017 Cascadia. The last one was a 2021 Cascadia. And you see the difference. Much different. But I put my caps on this one from the last truck I was in. That was too big of a company. And I didn't really get paid too much. A lot of waiting around. And too many cameras watching you. Too much stuff, so I like having older equipment anyways, so I can take care of it. You can see how dirty it is. I went through a lot of rain, but I did exactly the same as I do with all my trucks. I always put love in it, even the mud flaps. And my Marine Corps license plate, gotta do that, make it look nice. But I'll show you how to quickly do a wipe down after a rain. And when you have rain like that, it takes all the bugs away. It gives you a free truck wash. Everything else you got to really do other things to add onto it. But you want to do the touch of class. It's really cheap to do. You don't really need a truck wash. It's just a wipe down, but I use all-purpose cleaner, 101 use. You buy these at truck stops. These are really easy. Once you cut your aluminum, this is what I use when I cut. I use this grinder with the battery, and you put the battery in there, and let me show you. I got different batteries here. I use the 20 volt. Once I put this in here, then you can see you can cut all the aluminum with this. It's really nice. I use this wheel for the last part. I actually use the yellow first with the brown bar, and then I use the white to mix in how it fades away. But I use the white bar with the white wheel at the end, and that way I get all the rims done. I cut that with the yellow with the brown bar, and then I use the white with the white bar itself. Let's see if I can find one of these bars to show you. Got everything all organized here. Here's the white bar, and use that with the white pad, and that has less compound. And here's the brown bar. You see it's a reddish kind, and that's with the yellow pad. That's how you cut everything. And you would cut everything, these rims here, and right now all the rain, go ahead and just wipe it all down because I already cut all the aluminum. Only thing left would be the deck plate that I normally do, and the steps. That's what I normally would do. But it's spring now, and it's almost summer. It's May, and I gotta do that. But you can see what I use when it comes to the aluminum. I do that out here, and the polish I would use. I use this polish here, and this is what I use. This metal polish. It's pretty good. The purple was actually the best, but they changed the ingredients in there, so it's not as good anymore. But main thing is getting dressing, and that's the tire dressing I always use. It's the one that's full. But the tire foam, that's the first thing you would do when you do a walk around. And I use 3 rags. I use to actually do my wipe around. And my 3 rags. One's the dirty rag, one's a polishing kind of rag. And you always wear gloves. That way you're not really too grubby. It does make your hands all dirty. It's about 62 degrees out, so it's really not that bad. But these gloves here are really good to have. It's a little windy out, but that's good. And I'll show you how to do a quick cleanup here after the rain. You think you need a truck stop, but you're going to spend $100. You can easily make your truck look really good. First thing you do is actually get your foam out and just foam all these tires. I do the inside rims and the outside. My finger was in the way. And then you do the middle. That's how you do it on the bigger tires. The nozzle doesn't seem right. But I do the outside first, inside, and then the middle. That's all you have to do. Outside, inside. You don't have to worry about doing the rims because you're going to wipe them all down anyways. If they're hot, you'll see it'll soak up really quick. But you want to do this first because it takes a while for the tires to turn to black with this foam. The steering seems to be soaking up a lot. These are older steering tires. Well, you just do the inside, outside, then inside, then the middle. That's all you have to do. Anything else, you're wasting it. That's how that works. These tires here. I'm doing a drop and hook, but you can see how white these tires are. But you want to get this done because this is an oily mess. It's dressing. So once you're wiping everything, it'll be in your way. So you really want to make sure that you dress everything first. If you do all the tires, it's usually three times you do it with one can. These cans I buy at Walmart for about $8. That's the cheapest. Truck stops sell them for about $12. That's all you have to do with this. But that's Terrafoam. It's pretty nice. Sounds like this reefer's gonna turn on. Yeah, I got new cap shocks. Just got them the other day, so these are nice. Alright, next thing is you grab your 3 rags. I do the front rims first. Front rims are easy, you just go around and spray everything on it. You have one, I use 3 rags, so I just quickly do it. It's just a quick wipe on here. wiping everything. There's 10 of these lugs, so you gotta go around and wipe them. That's your first rag. You just do the same with the next one. Quickly just go around and you just count, it's 10 of them. When it comes to the lugs. And then your last one is where everything's dry now. That's your polish. These rims here are really bad and I had to cut them. But it's a good shine. That's how you do each rim. I do the fronts first. But you see the first one's your wettest one and your dirtiest rag. It's all like getting the dirt off. If you have any problems, it dries real quick because it's hotter, you just spray it again. It's all about getting the dirt off. The rain is gone, so it'll probably rain a couple days, so you just do these kind of wipe downs when you're done with your shift, which I am. I did 10 hours and 40 minutes of driving. Almost 11, but now I have to wait 10 hours. So we get this done in about 15 minutes. And then when you wake up and leave, you got a nice truck. Looks really nice and professional. That's why you always see my trucks, even in the wintertime, I do this. All these 10 lugs. You used to have to do these rims really deep, but these caps make it much easier now. You just spray on the cap. I actually touch the rags to see which one's the wettest. That's your first one. The dry one is usually your last rag. The dirtiest and whitest is your first rag that you always use. And the rag will get more wetter and wetter, and I'll show you why, what to do with that. exact same thing with each rag. If you do it really fast, you realize that if you only do it with one, you have to do it slower, and you'll miss spots. And you got to use more than one rag versus using 3 separate rags. And it'll always be like that. The only one you really replace is the first rag, and your second rag will be the first one, and then you get a new one, usually once a week, and that will be the last rag, the polishing one that stays clean and dry. In wintertime, you do the same thing. These are a lot easier than doing the aluminum. The only aluminum I cut is this edge on this rim here, and that's about it. Makes it a lot easier. The Peterbilts are actually harder because there's so much more chrome and aluminum. But these Cascadias are really easy. Cascadias are 2018 on up is the one right next to me. This is the last year of the model of that. These are brand new drives. But that's the trick, is to use 3 rags. You just quickly do it. Once you do it for a long time like I have, you can pretty well do it with your eyes closed. I make it look easy, but first time is a little bit more where you have to find a system. Got a little bracelet mess on it. I always do this outside part, that's where the rim is. And then I do the hubcap. If you don't do it, it'll get all corroded and wore down all through the years. So you always have to keep it up so it always looks brand new. And they give you a lot of time in this company. When it comes to 10 hours, you sleep for 8, so you got 2 hours to do something. Other guys are eating or probably watching TV or something. But there's no excuse. You should get it done. And mud flaps are pretty easy. This cleaner is really nice. Same kind of method. I just quickly go and take all this dirt off with all the rain. And you just do it 3 times. That's all you have to do. It's like a big robot here. And the last one's really easy because you did wipe everything off and it's dry. There's no dirt, no abrasion. That's how you do the back end here. And the cleaner works out pretty good. Well, you notice how you can just quickly go through it, drop the rag, grab the other one. Less rain is less work you do when it comes to cleaning all this area up here. It looks really nice. That way everything always looks good. And I always use stainless steel. So these mud flap weights are actually stainless. So they'll never rust. The chrome ones are cheaper, but again, they will rust. I've tried it so many times. There's no way to keep it up. You have to have steel wool in your back pocket to have chrome when you're in the Midwest. It's only for places like California if you never see that kind of weather. That's how simple this is. But the first one's all about getting the dirt off. And the second one is all about getting the moisture and drying it off. And the next one's just all about polishing it up. That way the back looks really nice. Once you're done doing that, then you do the steps. That's pretty easy to do. Some good reflection here, but I still have to put that white wheel on this one. I only did the yellow. You can see that it needs a little bit more work. And these steps here I'm going to do so it looks like mirrors. Now that the towel is really moist, you can stop your spraying and just pass by all this little stuff and do your 3 steps. If you spray it, then it'll get on the body. You gotta do that too. With all this chrome, you see I changed the lights here to clear, and then I put the ring around it. So it looks really nice. Touch of class, not too much is all I do. Everybody else puts too much stuff on it. But with that wet rag now, your first one, it's easier just to wipe everything down with that. You want to get all the plastic. That way it never turns white on you. And this is all white, so you can get all the bugs off. Do your 3-steppers. I can put the LED blinkers on here. It looks really nice. These headlights I actually cut with the white, and with the compound I put wax on it, just like light restoring. You do the same with both of them. You're mainly getting the bugs off with the damp one that you use for the first towel. There's not much to this. It looks overwhelming, but it really isn't, because you're not doing the body. because that went through the rain. And then once a month you want to take it to a truck wash, but that's about it. Got some bugs there. This is actually plastic, so you want to keep it up. So it always looks new all year round. Steps here, I'm going to go and cut and make sure they look brand new, look like mirrors. Let's put these brushes on that so you don't track dirt in the truck. I did the passenger one, the last Cascadia I didn't. That looks nice. You buy the whole chrome here, I did, and then I just took the handle chrome and put it on here. Left everything else black, and it looks really nice. The other ones are just too loud and gaudy. Same thing with this here. You want to wipe everything down with the number 1 rag. That's still wet. And I polish these tanks and the caps. That way it always looks nice. Alright, now you're down here with this. As you can see, it's dirty enough that you can do these quarter fenders. It's real important to do that because it will stand out. If you do it all the time, which I do, and I put rubber restoring on all the plastic. So it looks really good. It looks always clean. I wax this too. So it's easy to clean when it gets dirty like this. I painted the frame rails too. This has got 400,000 miles on it, so it did have some neglect when it comes to somebody just driving it, not caring about it. You always get drivers like that. But I put these caps on, especially around the shocks. These are brand new shocks here. And that way you can see the touch of class. You don't want to do too much, but that's how I do it. I put these caps on the shocks and then over here just to bring out the accent of it. It really looks good. The other side was all broken. I actually went to eBay and I bought this piece that was missing on this bracket. And I went to a hardware store and got an angle bracket. Looks like somebody's coming in. So. But that number 1 rag is really important because it's already wet. And you did that by doing the caps and all that, by getting it wet. That way it's damp enough that you don't need to be spraying anything else. If you do, then you gotta wipe them down. This here's what I replaced. This whole thing was missing. And this bracket I made, had to drill it, and I got this at eBay and this on eBay. Looks a lot better now. These shocks are new. Those are called cab shocks. And that looks a lot better now. All these nuts that are exposed and rusty, I cap them all. Any more it'd be too much. It would look too gaudy. So I really spent some time on it. I took some off and put it on, really looked at it to see how bad it is. It's too much. Especially on these steps, I put them on the outside and I decided, nah, just the 4 on the inside like I normally do. Then I painted this frame black. It was all rusty. And that way it keeps up. Especially with DOT when they're looking at everything. And it's easy just to wipe down these frames. And that way it looks really good. Professional. Looks like it's brand new again. Especially the cost of all this. But I'll do this deck plate and make it look like a mirror like I did with the last truck, that 2001 Cascadia. Well, I had this for a while. Hoping to put $1 million on this truck. They usually do about $1.3 million. I don't think they rebuild engines, they just trade it in. You see all the dirt and dust that comes up here after a rain. And dries up and just is road dirt. But I steel walled this whole deck. It looks a lot better steel walled. I have to go around and do that deck because the dust went over it. And that's it. That's my wipe down. Everything else I'll show you when I get my step out. Alright. This guy's almost done. Hot shot. Yeah, I made a mess over here. All that dust on the deck. You can see how everything looks nice and clean again. Yeah, doesn't look like I went through any rain. Alright, everything else is the front grill. Then I'll get the step and then I'll do these mirrors and show you how to do that. Alright, front grill is a little different. What I do with the front grill is the one that was my first rag. I actually spray on that. I don't spray on the grill. Once I get that wet, then I go ahead and wipe everything down, spending all the bugs. Put some muscle in it. In summer it's worse. the outside first and wipe it down. Not too picky because I'll get more bugs tomorrow. In wintertime's easier because you don't have any bugs. But I just do the frame first. And that's with the wet. Go ahead and go all the way around, wipe it all down with the second rag. And then you're polishing one. That gets everything off. And then you mow the lawn by doing the inside. But that's when I hold the rags. And again, always spray. The 2021 Cascadia, the grill was much smaller, so it was easier. It was more in, so it was harder to get your fingers in there. This was more fatter, so it's easier. See, I do a 1-2. At the end, I'll use my 3. You do the same thing all the way down. Front, you do the same. You do the same process on the winter front. Clean that up. It's always a warmer place where you drive to once you get off the mountain, go into cities. It's just one row at a time. It's just easier so it doesn't dry up. Anyway, this grill always looks new. If you don't do it, it'll fade. It'll turn different colors. Because it's all plastic. It'll last for a long time if you keep it clean. I'm going to get some more moisture on this towel. Just passing it twice. At the end I'll use the other one and I'll do all of it. But this is actually getting the bugs off, the dirt. The other one's drying it. And then your last one is taking all the streaks off. If you're patient enough and get each one done, it looks really nice far away. attention to detail. Alright. So let me get some more here. There. And the last one, you just do everything with this. The third rag, just wiping everything down, the whole frame. We quickly just doing each row. Everything's dry. It's all about polishing it. So that's the 3-rag method. Camera's in the right angle, you can see it. Well, that's how the grill would look. Now the bumper's different because it's away from the paint. I lightly do a section like this. Fronts that have more bugs. Bugs on these bumpers, but if you keep it up, it won't be that bad. Number 3. If you miss a spot, you think there's a lot, you go to number 1, rub it down a little bit. The towel is really wet, so you can use it. Once you're done, it'll dry up. Just find areas that you missed. Put fog lights on here. Get ready for winter. on after I do the sides. You'll have more bugs in the front. But the rain really got a lot of it off. That's why I say after the rain it's a lot easier to get this done. All these bugs are pretty well almost nothing. Once you do it for a while, you got a system and you know what to do. That looks sweet. Get a little bit of that bug off. Sometimes you gotta put some muscle in it. There you go. Brillo pad sometimes helps, but I put my thumb in it. You don't want to do too much because you already know you're going to hit bugs the next day, but it's all about keeping it up. And when you look far away, the bumper looks brand new again. There, that looks a lot better. Everything else is your last rag. Getting these corners. There, as long as I don't hit a deer, I'm good. Alright, I'll get the step out and show you what I do with that. It's these fold up steps here. Really helps. Once you do that, you can stand on them. Get up here and do the windows. So I'm all wiping it down with the wet rag. Getting these mirrors. Don't forget to do the rubber. I always do that first. Gets all the dust off. Have to look at the bracket to get everything on that. You just do those 3 steppers. I had to put this window thing on like I did with the other truck. So I got everything exactly the same. It's just my style. I want to wet this rag a little bit more. Looking on eBay to get one of these because it looks like it's got some chips off of it. These are where all the bugs hit. It's got acid on it because the bugs hit it, so you really have to scrub it off. But some driver that had this before me hit some things on it, you can tell. This is important, you have these matching the front mirrors. It looks really beautiful when it's done. I'll show you how to do. Lots of this first. Towel's nice and damp. You see all these lines because of the rain hitting it, streaking it. And you gotta get all the bugs off. The blood is not flowing properly, switch arms. Snap like that. Alright, that's done. Get the bracket. I actually dressed the bracket. I'm just showing you this. I'm going to show you the part where I dress all this black. I do restore all the plastic. I do it like once every 3 months. Same thing here. I get all the rubber first. If you don't, I'll catch up to you. A lot with the number one because you got it really nice and moist when you're doing the rims and the mud flaps and all that. The other one's just damp enough, but it's cleaner. And the other one is absolutely clean. That's how you do the windows. It's nice to have this trim here, really this sharpens up the truck. Touch of class, that's about it, I don't do too much. There, it's all done. This is my brand new one here. I'll just wipe this down. Just put this in last weekend. Really happy with it, this wasn't here. That's this back piece, and I put this bracket on here. It looks really nice. I bought this plastic piece, this bracket, in eBay, so $80 later. It's brand new. I'll go ahead and dress this when I get a taller ladder, and then it'll be good for the summer. That's it. Ta-da! Set it to replace the shocks, so you walk around and get all the fingerprints off. The rest of the stuff is just what you catch in your eye. A lot of it's just the bugs. But that looks good. I put the clear lights on the crowns and the blinkers, and then the clears on the headlight blinkers. Those are really bright. But that should look really nice in the morning when I take off. Everybody thinks I went to a truck wash, and I didn't. But you can see why you have to dress the tires first so you don't spray any of that oil. And the back looks really nice. And this company's all dropping hooks, so you can see I just went ahead and dressed these tires back here. Nobody does it, but there wasn't any dirt, it was just white. So now they look brand new. When you go across scales, they'll look at it and they'll look really nice. The rims aren't rusty, so I took advantage of it and went ahead and put some dressing on it. but that looks sharp when I go down the road. It's all about the touch of class. This is the drive-in. I gotta take this load to Target in Minneapolis. I gotta be there about 5:30 in the morning. But all the rain left, so any clouds here will move over to Wisconsin. It was raining really hard in Wisconsin. But I picked this up in Wisconsin and I took it to Target. But this is the company now I work for. Really nice family-owned business. That's what I like. And they only have 30 drivers. That's what it should be. Nice and small, and they're dedicated, and that way everybody knows each other instead of the name kind of thing to a number. Because that's how it was in the last job, and it was really depressing. You have to wait 2 to 3 days to get another load. And there's no dedicated. You didn't know where you're going to go next. All 48 states. Your paychecks are low because you just sat around. There's no dedicated runs like I normally would do. But you see how the back is, how I painted the rails and all that, so, and put the caps on for the touch of class. That way it looks really nice. But I appreciate your time. I'll do one more walk around. I'm hoping this camera works out pretty good. I waxed this really good. The main thing is putting a rubbing compound on all this. Really good. But yes, you can, once you dress this and cure it and then keep it clean, it looks really nice. You don't need the chrome ones when it comes to this kind of trim with the black chrome and red. And the tank here, you can see I put a chrome cover on it. And this looks pretty good. See the reflection so far? So you can see I'm using the white one I'm going to do, but I'm going to need to cut this to be look brand new. And then they have spray to spray, and it's like a clear coat for aluminum. And then that is good for 5 years, 2 to 5 years they say. That looks good. Scratches, so you can see I need that spray. These caps are looking good. And the back end. Oh, never forget your mud flaps and your license plate. I put a chrome ring on the reverse light. It didn't have those rivet rings. The aluminum stainless steel one. So I used that. That's really nice. Those are the screw-on rings, and those are really beautiful when they're all put in properly. And these mud flaps is how you put your hangers, just like I've done with the other trucks. Same kind of reflectors, and they're not taped, so these are really nicely done. And then, of course, you bend the hangers up so it never scratches the weights that keep this straight, no matter what kind of mud flaps you got. The last ones, you remember, they had the brushes on the back. I like the rubber, but it came with this kind. But this will hold it still and straight. That's the right way to put these hangers, is always put them on the back. It used to be where it hits the tire, it would be hitting the back hangers. It was for dump trucks a long time ago, but now everybody has it. It comes in style. Many put them on backwards. And as you can see, just dressing the trailer tires, that looks a lot better. Brings out the rims. At least the rims aren't rusty like many of the trailers. But this is it. I'm hoping you enjoyed this time to see how easy it is to wipe it down in about 20 minutes. 15-20 minutes. If I don't talk too much, I just really hustle.